Okay, here we go, video 7, and we are nearly complete of the planking. Taking a bit longer than I expected, but this is quite difficult to work with in hardwood. It's actually the first one that I've done full planking in hardwood. I did this Scottish made, which was finished in hardwood, but it was veneered. It's a lot easier to do. You plank it in softwood, sand it, fill it, get it nice and smooth, and then you just put the veneer planks on, like the top ones that are going on here. You've got the veneers to go on there, very, very thin and very easy to work with. See them here, it's just like, it is just veneer, it's like paper. So there's no need to steam anything, they just stick to the contours. Very, very easy to do, but this I've found quite hard to work with. I made a couple of errors. One at the front here on both sides, I had a dip in here, and I've filled it. I've put some extra pieces in there. I've virtually sanded that out. You can see on the other side, I had the same problem. I don't know why it happened, but it did. So we've got these two extra pieces I've just glued on top there. I did 3 on this side, and I've sanded those down now, and they look pretty good. When they're fully sanded, it'll be okay. And most of that is actually below the waterline, which is painted white anyway. Now, if you fill in these gaps, the easiest way to fill them, I filled quite a few on here, but again they're below the waterline, so they won't show. But to match in with the wood, all you need to do is mix do some sanding, keep your sawdust, and mix it with PVA, and then just fill it with PVA like that, with sawdust mixed in, and that'll fill the gaps. It's not the best planking I've done, and like I say, it's quite difficult in hardwood, but we'll get there, and I think the finished product will look alright. We marked the keel where the stands go. So they'll just slot on there now. I need to drill those. They'll be coming onto the stand. The next thing I'm going to do is actually mark on the waterline so that we know where we're working to. And the way I'll do that is I'll put it back onto the stand that we originally used and sit the keel at the back right down, and then measure the distance from the centre line on the plan. It's not going to stand that way. Which you can see on here, the water line is clearly marked on here. So we'll set this bit and set the angle to get this in the right place here, and then we'll put the water line all the way around and mark it. So then anything below there can just be filled with ordinary filler. Anything that needs filling, sanded off, made smooth, and then that will be painted white as per the plan or the picture. If you've seen the picture on the box, I can get it into the camera here. There, the bottom of it is, have a look, can you see that? That way. Yeah. So below the waterline is white. So we'll carry on with that. We'll come back in a bit. I've got the waterline marked on all the way around. It's quite easy to do, just on the base. Now I'm just going to carry on finishing the planking. I got my new plank benders. These are actually amateur ones, and they are a little bit shorter, but they do feel a lot stronger. However, the screw in the middle keeps coming undone. I need to put some Loctite on that or something. But they're very, very good, and they bend the hardwood really easy. Steam the ends there, but even the non-steam bit, if you just go down it, you just get a bit of bend in it. Follow the shape of the hull without it even being steamed. Very good. The blade's a lot sharper than on the other one too, so be careful, because I have actually gone through and cut when I first started with it. Cut right through. so it's fully to scale, and there's just one side of it is microphone on it, really. Try with the microphone. So my next model will be the Blue Nose, which is a fully ribbed version, fully to scale, and there's only, I think it's part of one side of it is planked. Obviously not fully planked, otherwise you wouldn't see the ribs. I found a new model company, I think they're an American company, so I'll probably have to pay import tax on the model, as I did with another model I had. I'll show in a later one. Good. Just chamfer the edge of it. Perfect. Bit more bend on it. The old plank benders that I had that cracked, in the last video I showed you I glued them together, but wasn't holding out a lot of hope for them. They lasted for 4 planks, but thank you Cornwall Model Boats, my new ones arrived the following day, so we've been able to crack on with this. Okay, so go through to the back end. All the back has to be trimmed off later. I'm just going to steam this to get the bend in it. Right, so I've got that steamed, and I put my microphone back on. There's a bonus. So just give it a twist. Once it's been in the hot water, it is quite flexible, and it does tend to keep its shape quite well. So hoping you can see this, yeah, more or less. So glue that in. About right. Perfect. Just a sharp bend at the end to bring it around to the transom. Now this new company I've found, it's American company, and I think it's American. It could be Chinese. It could be Chinese. I don't know. Most of the instructions are in Chinese, it says, but maybe it's coming from. Yeah, I think it is. It's coming from China. But some of their models, they're up to over £1,000. Some of them. I can't see me doing any one of those in the near future. But the blue, I've always wanted to do one that's fully ribbed and have the ribs exposed. I'll show you the one I've already done in the next video, which is only partly showing the ribs, and only because I've left a hole in the side, making it look like it's been repaired. a nice model. It's a diorama. See, I've stopped using the paintbrush as well now. And it's still to be finished, but get there one day. There's only a bit to do on it. Right, this one in. Make sure the front's right up. Put it in there to make sure that stays where it's supposed to be. And shows no snips for pushing these in. You've got to be careful to hold the model at the same time. Put pressure on it or you'll break something. Working our way along. Like I say, below the waterline it doesn't really matter too much. If you get something wrong, you can just fill it, sand it off, and then that's if you're painting it. If you don't want to paint it and you want to leave it all varnished, then that's a different matter. You have to be more careful. Very soft, these pins. I need to treat myself. Like that. Long, just a bit long. There we go, and then just check it's down everywhere, which it is. That's fine. I'll leave that one, do the same to the other side, and then we've just got some small bits to finish off filling in. So we'll come back when that's done. So at last now we've got the planking finished. There's bits of some small little tiny gaps that we've got to fill up. These, as I said previously, above the water line we'll fill with just some sawdust and some PVA. Fill those up so they blend in. Below the water line it will just be the normal wood filler that I use. It's just a light wood modeller's wood filler. The small gaps at the bottom here as well, fill those up, sand them off, and it'll be spray painted. The next bit after that is to do the bulwarks up here, which is the, and as per the instructions, a smaller 0.5 by 3. So it's half the thickness of the planking we've been using. It's just like a veneer. I've started on the other side so I can show you. A slightly different colour as well, so it'll give a nice contrast when we come to varnish it. All this that you can see, the filling is below the waterline. I also tried a couple of scarf joints on here. They don't really show up, but they weren't that good. Again, this hardwood is hard, yeah, it's hard to work with. So we've got these on. We've got what we've got now, five pieces on there. Just stick on a couple of bands to hold them. That's very easy. So we'll get this filled up, and then the next video will be starting construction. Once we've got it sanded down, I'll get the bottom sprayed, and it'll look completely different. So that's the plan next. So we'll just do a couple more of these. I'll do one more just to show you how this goes. I just use the bottle, straight out of the bottle, a thin line. Like that, and then I use the brush. Keep it in water. Make sure the whole area is covered, and then just thread a piece under the bands. I've cut that because where that turns there, it tends to stick out a little bit, so I just cut it so it'll just follow the lines easier. Push that till it's more or less level at the front, and trim it off afterwards, and then just press it on. No need to steam any of this because it bends so easily. You might need a bit of super glue just on this bit where it tends to ride up with the bend. I might get away with it. I'll put some clips on there actually. That's where this gap is, where the rails go. And make sure it's pressed down onto the one below. Not any gaps. There we go. Easy as that. And then the back edge just snips off. So we'll finish the rest of that, and that'll be That's it for this video. Again, it's a bit short, but the planking takes so long. I want to try and keep a video coming out each week. So we'll make that it for now. Next one, I'll have completed all this and we'll start building the deck. And I think the gun ports are next to go in, from what I can remember. There's a few gun ports, and we need to plank the inside of the bulwarks as well, all the way around. These get lined as well. Again, it's the 3mm by the 0.5, same as this. That'll give it some strength as well, I hope. Okay.